Look at the snow coming down.
I know.
Oh, bundle up.
What a day. Now, Albuquerque the Magazine is hanging with the cool kids this month.
That's
the
right.
Cool kids.
And of course, we have editor-in-chief Dan Mayfield with us to tell us details of the February issue, which is in stands this week.
That's it.
Yes.
Yep.
So, yeah, Dan, I mean, let me ask you, how did you come up with the idea for the Cool Kids spread?
Well, we gave cameras to kids. It was one of those things that years and years ago we saw I think it was a Time magazine piece where they did the same thing, and we wanted to see what Albuquerque looked like through kids' eyes. It was awesome. And we loved it. We bought 300 disposable cameras and gave them to school kids, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th graders, and just said, go shoot some stuff.
How did you decide where to put the cameras?
Oh, we just were working with teachers that were doing similar units in their classes. It seemed to work out very well, and it was just cool because these kids went out and they shot everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's pets and there's...
I was going to say, how is it different through a kid's eyes versus through anybody else's eyes?
Everything is shot from about 2 feet off the ground is the first thing.
Right,
but at least in the 3rd graders class. But, you know, they just, you know, as we get older, I think we start to compose things in our heads. We start to think about things. And, and these kids just have this enthusiasm, like, oh, look at the shoes, his feet, let's take a picture.
The innocence of looking at life through a kid's eyes.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Entirely. And
now, what's in this photo that we're looking at right now, Dan?
Oh, this is a girl. This is part of a second story that we did. We found some of the most interesting high schoolers in town, kids who are really going above and beyond. And these students, they just spend every waking moment doing everything they can to further themselves.
Yeah.
And that was Yenny Sierra Torres in that photo, and she is a ROTC student, ROTC student at Albuquerque High School.
Nice.
And she's up at 5 in the morning and then does everything. And she is the youngest, I guess they call it the commander of the squad at Albuquerque High School, and she's in charge of making sure everything runs right at the high school in the ROTC program, in charge of everything, and it's great. And she's planning herself on going into the military.
Wow.
But she's in every club you can imagine.
It's amazing.
She doesn't have a free lunch period any time during the week. She's volunteering on weekends. She's
good for her.
Every night she's doing something crazy. And we found 4 students like this, including one who drives race cars, one who's this highly recruited volleyball player. There's some awesome stories about kids who just really go above and beyond.
That's awesome.
You know?
Well, the whole entire issue is cool.
Well, thank you.
You highlight cool classes available through the continuing education at the University of New Mexico too. So this is really neat.
I wrote this story and I love doing it because I got to go to all these very cool classes.
I bet.
I got to go to a cooking class. I got to go, there's some weird ones too. Like, who would have ever thought that you can take a class to build a greenhouse?
Really? You can?
Yeah. You can just take a class and they'll teach you in like 6 hours how to build a greenhouse in your backyard.
That's amazing.
And
that's so much better than reading like dummy stuff. You know, like greenhouse for dummies. Like I'd much rather go to a class and learn hands-on.
And have somebody show you and explain it and everything, you know? And there's cooking classes, there's everything. And I didn't know this. And you were talking about this with the folks from Caliber just a minute ago, the online stuff.
Isn't that great?
It's perfect, you know? And they're a perfect example of the new online training that's out there. CNM, UNM, and others all offer this great online stuff. You can sit there in your pajamas and learn these things that you never would have thought you could learn before.
So true. It's so true.
I love it.
And you know, another thing, Dan, is that there were a lot of proposals over the holidays, and so the February issue also includes a bridal guide.
Yes. I love putting the bridal guide together. This is
as I flip to the Hearts page.
Yes.
Oh, did you go to Hearts?
Yes. I think the bridal guide is one of my guilty pleasures at the magazine.
Oh yeah. And it's all about love.
Yeah, and I always, every year when we put this together, I discover I'm a romantic. This story, I loved it. This is local brides shared with us their stories of their wedding days and their wedding photos, so we get to see what they look like when they got married and what they look like now. There are some awesome.
Or do they look better or worse?
There's some awesome '80s hair.
I love '80s hair. I still have
And this one, I couldn't believe that people were so willing to share with us, but I loved it. We asked people, what was your proposal story?
Oh, yeah.
And people were more than happy to share that.
Who's Jason and Shanna?
Jason and Shanna are part of another story in the Bridal Guide that I just fell in love with, too.
What's their story?
Rekindled romance. We've all known those people. We went to high school with them, and they met and dated in high school.
Right.
And they split up and go their separate ways.
Move on.
And then they come back later, and they're married, you know? And so these are,
we all like me.
I know.
We want a story like that.
I know, it's 9 couples who recycled, essentially. And they found that their old boyfriend or their old girlfriend was available again, and the spark was still there. And there's one, I love this story. There's one couple.
Yeah.
They're both from Chicago. And girl goes to the Smiths. She's standing in line, just waiting to buy groceries. And this guy walks up behind her, and she's like, that can't be my high school boyfriend. And then she notices a tattoo on him.
Okay.
And it was him.
Oh, my gosh.
And they got back together, and now they're together again. Separated by 2 marriages in 15 years.
Whoa. You know, sometimes you think all hope is lost if somebody else that you care about got married and they have somebody else in their life. But, you know, you just don't know. Life changes every single minute, and you have to just believe that what's meant to be one day will be whatever happens.
That's it. And sometimes what was meant to be wasn't. It was just meant to happen later. Exactly.
Yeah, just the timing. Everything's in the timing.
I've been calling it recycling. You know, it's good for the environment too.
I like that. All right.
So,
well, where can we all pick up our February issue?
So many places. Flying Stars, of course, Albertsons, Smiths, Costco has it, Whole Foods has it, UNM Bookstore has it, Sunflower, Flying Star, all over, and all of the satellites too. So this one's fun, and the next month we got one of our favorite issues.
What's next month?
Top Docs.
Ooh,
all the top doctors.
Speaking of finding love.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I love it too. That one of our top docs, they're married.
Yeah.
The pediatrician is married to the gastroenterologist, which is awesome. I love it.
You never have to worry in the family. Everybody stays healthy.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it.
You know exactly where to go to find a doctor.
I'm already digging in. I love the bridal stuff. And
it's fun.
And the kids stuff too. You know,
the kids stuff is great.
I think it's such a unique perspective from a kid. You know, not only is it from a little bit lower on the ground, but their mind thinks so differently than ours, and it's so neat to see the world in that way from a younger person's perspective.
And they're only really bounded by their own enthusiasm for doing it. You know, we think of things and like, oh, this isn't a good picture, or this wouldn't be. And your kids are like, whatever, I'm just going to take a picture of it.
Exactly. They're not as vain, and they're not so wrapped up in the little superficial things that the rest of us think about.
That's it.
Pure.
That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
So when we see the kitten in the drawer, you know the kid was just feeling that moment with the kitten.
I love it.
He didn't stick them in there.
No.
Thanks so much, Dan. And be sure to get your brand new copy of